news.
With the forecast, let's bring in weather specialist Noor Rafat.
Hey, thanks very much, Catherine. Well, it was a spectacular morning today in Toronto, if you were dressed for it. Of course, a chilly start once again, but things started to get progressively warmer and progressively cloudier as the afternoon rolled around. 11 degrees just now outside the Toronto airport and some clouds taking over our city skyline here at the Toronto Harbour. Now, temperatures have actually been not bad the more you head into southwestern Ontario. Low teens in areas like Waterloo, Hamilton, Sarnia, Windsor, 12 degrees, 10 in Wyerton. Not so much the case as you head towards the east and the north, already below the freezing mark, Sudbury and North Bay. And don't be surprised if some of us start to dip close to that amount as well. Frost advisories, Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton tonight. Temperatures near the freezing mark and also heading into tomorrow morning, so do be mindful of that. Now, we are looking at a cool overnight for other communities as well, London and into Windsor. And I know it says 6 degrees for Toronto, but as I mentioned, it'll dip down near the freezing mark. That's more so towards the early morning hours of tomorrow. So around 2 degrees, feeling closer to -1 for Toronto. No surprise, of course, that we're seeing the snow develop around North Bay with these frigid temperatures. And in the next few hours, we'll get a push of that snow. Bancroft, Tweed, Kingston, a little bit of that activity starting to clear up as we head into tomorrow morning. And much of us, really the southwest, the south and the east, will be looking at dry but cloudy conditions through the majority of Monday, starting to see those clouds dissipate later on in the evening. So overnight tonight in Toronto, as I mentioned, 2 degrees, feeling closer to -1. And as we head into tomorrow morning, temperatures climb for a seasonal high of 11 degrees. Unfortunately, mainly cloudy, but at least it'll be dry. Kat?
Thanks, Noor. Welcome back. Time now to check in on our long-range weather forecast, and Noor Rafat joins us, our weather specialist. So, Noor, is it fair to say that things are cooling down overall?
Yeah, certainly for large sections of the country, especially central Canada and the east, we're seeing a lot of cooler temperatures in those communities, the exception being parts of Western Canada with those climbing temperatures. Will those cool downs last, though, especially as we head into Halloween? Let's find out. So you can see here, it's not just parts of Ontario that are seeing some cool downs. This trough pushing the cold air deeper into Quebec, Atlantic Canada today. Still mild in southern Manitoba, 9 in Saskatoon, and quite warm in Calgary. Southern Alberta especially has been seeing some serious winds gusting upwards of 100 kilometers per hour from the south at times the southwest. Those have been propelling the temperatures upwards. In southern Ontario, we've got some windy conditions of our own, a bit on the breezy side. Peterborough also pushing into Kingston. But as we head into tomorrow, we're also looking at a bit of a breeze in the evening hours. Nothing too crazy. So it'll be a comfortable day. 11 degrees for your high, although mainly cloudy. We're going to be worried about the winds in the coming days, though. And especially as we head into Halloween, some serious winds will propel the temperatures upwards and at times make it a bit hard to hold your hat. So if we've got some Halloween costumes that require some headpieces, maybe try to pin those down as we head into Thursday. So here we are, as I mentioned, mostly cloudy through the course of Monday until we head into the evening. Those clouds start to break up. Your Tuesday, we're going to get a push of heavy rain. This will be quick, so it won't spend more than an hour really in one community as it continues to track to the east over by the evening hours. And although things are looking progressively better on Wednesday, yes, we're going to see some sunny breaks, but unfortunately that wave of rain was just wave 1. We're looking at wave 2 potentially rolling in Halloween day, and it could be evening showers for areas like Toronto, like Peterborough, also into northern Durham region. So do be prepared for that. A rainy Halloween, although a very warm Halloween, and a very windy Halloween. So wind gusts upwards of, or close to rather, 60 kilometers per hour as those little ones go trick-or-treating. 21 though, and it could look like 18 or 17 in the evening hours, down to 9 on Friday, 11 for Saturday, warming up quite nicely. Sunday, 12 degrees with some showers. We just have to get through a little bit of heavy rain on Tuesday.
Let's bring in weather specialist Noor Rafat.
Hey, thanks very much, Catherine. Can't help but feel so at peace looking at this calm skyline shot of our Toronto Harbour. The view ever so gorgeous with some calm winds and double digits out there. 10 degrees just now, although this is outside the Toronto airport. We've been seeing some mild conditions in southwestern Ontario and the south. It has been not so calm as you approach the east and the north. That's where we've been seeing some snow pushing in the past few hours. Cornwall, Ottawa, Bancroft, Huntsville, some of these areas. And no surprise given the temperatures that we're seeing over there at the freezing mark, if not below. North Bay and into Sudbury, still mild, as I mentioned. Southern Ontario pushing towards the southwest. And that was the case earlier today into the low teens. St. Catharines, Windsor, Sarnia as well, into Peterborough and Kingston. Also some double digits up towards Sault Ste. Marie. We are in for a cold night tonight, though. Toronto, Mississauga, areas like Brampton under a frost advisory, nearing the freezing mark overnight tonight, especially as you head inland, and that will be the case early tomorrow morning in areas like Toronto. Speaking of tomorrow morning, we're going to see that snow dissipate, and we're going to see some sunny breaks earlier in the day. Peterborough, Waterloo, Wyerton, mostly cloudy, though, through the majority of the afternoon, and then we'll start to see those clouds dissipate later on in the evening, still looking at dry conditions up until then. So cool overnight tonight, 2 degrees, some windy conditions from the northeast, and by tomorrow we're looking at a high of 11 degrees in Toronto, mainly cloudy for the majority of your day. Kat?
Thanks, Noor. An Israeli airstrike has killed Time now to check in on the long-range weather forecast, and weather specialist Noor Rafat joins me here. So, Noor, is it fair to say things are cooling down across most of the country?
Yeah, that's certainly the case, Catherine. We've been seeing some cooler temperatures through major parts of central and eastern Canada, the exception being to the west, where we're seeing some climbing temperatures thanks to some strong winds. Things are not always going to remain that way, and into the next week we're in for a bit of a shuffle when it comes to those temperatures. Well, you can see it wasn't just parts of Ontario that were cooler today. We are seeing this trough building over central Canada and the east especially, and that has been bringing cooler temperatures through Atlantic Canada, down in southern Quebec, yes, in Ottawa, 7 Thunder Bay, mild in the eastern sections of the prairies. But take a look at Calgary. Rather warm than mild, I would call that. 18 degrees, sticking out like a sore thumb, and that's thanks to some serious winds gusting upwards of 100 kilometers per hour in some areas from the southwest. So a lot more warm air pushing through the province, propelling those temperatures upwards. We had some windy conditions of our own in southern Ontario and the east. A lot of them have calmed, but for the most part those winds have been from the northwest, and that meant cooler temperatures, especially as we headed towards Ottawa and Bancroft, as you saw. Tomorrow will recover slightly. 11 degrees is the seasonal high in Toronto. That we're going to see. Unfortunately, it'll be mostly cloudy through much of the day, so feeling a bit on the cooler side under that shade. Across really the southwest, the southern areas of the province, and in the east, that will be the case in the afternoon. As we head into the evening, those clouds rather will start to dissipate. Tuesday is when we'll start to see the rain roll in. This will be very quick. So starting off in southwestern Ontario in the morning, not spending more than an hour or two as it moves through communities. And out before the time we even head into your Wednesday. We're going to see some sunny breaks there for Wednesday, but unfortunately we've got another push of rain coming for Halloween. So it's going to be a wet evening, I suspect, in Toronto, other parts of southern Ontario as well, potentially into the Cottage Country region as well, but we are expecting some very different temperatures. So you're looking at 16 being the warmest temperature on the map come tomorrow, 14 in Hamilton, 9 in Cobourg. But guess what? By the time we head into Wednesday and Thursday, 23s and 21s. So we will recover when it comes to the temperatures. Perhaps the Halloween costumes don't have to be so warm. But take a look at these winds, 60-kilometer-per-hour wind gusts along with that light rain, probably going to be blown around, so not the most pleasant evening. Be prepared, 9 degrees, a high for Friday.